All right, who are we talking to next?
Okay, so I would like to bring Moldred on, but Moldred has had a series of calls that made no sense. And I know that that's kind of the point of Discordianism, and that you're like repping your religion by being a troll. But also, I would like to get to the bottom of some, like, why you want to talk to us.
I don't know if they're being a troll necessarily.
Well,
but
the religion is one of troll. Like, he's not a troll by himself. But
no, but well, in the same way that maybe Pastafarianism is.
Right,
Moldred,
right.
Let's bring Moldred on the line. Okay. Moldred, you're live with Eric and V.
Hey, you guys.
Hey.
Yeah, I am not a troll, and Discordianism is not a troll. Is not a religion of trolls. It's a religion that embraces the chaos that is the universe.
Okay, would you say that Pastafarianism is trollish, or would you put it on the same level as Discordianism?
I am not a Pastafarian. I do not follow the Pastafarian religion, and I will not argue. I will not denegate people who do believe in Pastafarianism.
I'm not asking you to denigrate.
Okay, so I'm not.
Moldred, I'm not asking you to denigrate.
Go ahead.
What I'm asking you is maybe those degrees could be different, but it gives us a starting place. So if you said that you take Discordianism seriously to a degree, and you understand that Pastafarians take it to a similar degree, then I would describe that as less serious, but someone might describe it as more serious, but it would at least put us in the same ballpark.
What is the goal of Discordianism? Is there a goal, or is it just kind of you fall into it?
It's the goal of Discordianism is to get people to think.
About what?
Anything.
So you think people don't think about anything? And wait, I want to make sure I'm clear on this, because I don't want to call it a troll religion if it's not.
Ooh, how about
it's not.
Asexual atheist in the chat says spoof. Maybe we say spoof.
Spoof religion. That's fair.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I keep interrupting you. Go ahead.
We will make sure you have time to talk, so you don't need to worry about getting everything in. My question for you is, okay, so Discordianism gets people to think. Okay, think about what is the goal of people, like what should people be thinking about, and what will that make happen? What will people thinking about this thing, whatever it is, cause in the world? Like, what is the goal? I'm so confused by this.
The goal is to get people to use maybe logic to look over the edges of the reality tunnel.
Okay. So
do you feel like this is helping? Do you feel like using words like phrases like maybe logic and reality tunnel without explaining them is good communication? Is that going to help people to think?
No, because when they ask what's maybe logic and what's a reality tunnel, I explain it to them.
Okay, what's a reality tunnel?
Reality tunnel is the filters that your brain uses because of the experiences that you experience, the things that have happened to you and the things you are willing to accept. I mean, there are billions of things going on around you every nanosecond of every day. Your mind can't handle all of that, so it puts up filters. Mm-hmm. Those filters you build from life experiences.
Okay.
Everything. Well, to quote the Scientologists, everything that happens to you, you look for an earlier similar. In other words, did something like this happen before, and how did I react to that? Right. So basically, reality tunnel is what your mind builds to filter the universe, filter your perception of the universe.
Okay.
I feel like we're kind of getting into a direction that is. Can I bring this back a little bit, or do you want to continue on the reality tunnel angle? Because
the only reason I bring up the reality tunnel, and thank you for that explanation. That is a good explanation. I have additional questions, but I don't want to leave Eric, where he is. The reason I wanted to get specific right away is because I feel like every time we talk with Moldred, we get a lot of these words kind of entered into the conversation and we don't stop and say, what do these mean? What is the purpose of using words in this way? So
Totally.
I like that you had a response to that. I like the response itself. I don't think I see the value of using the term reality tunnel when we can use things like, how the brain works, type 1 thinking or blind spots or tunnel vision, these things that we all understand and can agree on right away to further the conversation. Because we tend to get lost in this, well, what is that? Well, why do you call it that and not this other thing? And then we don't actually get to the conversation that it sounds like you want to have, which is how do we get past our own instincts to categorize things and put things in boxes and not pay attention to things or jump to conclusions based on past experience in order to perceive a better, more objective, real world. But I digress. Eric, where did you want to go with this?
I want to give Moldred the chance to respond to you, and then I kind of want to take it into a different direction. Moldred, did you want to respond to V before I kind of jump in?
I'm just using the terms that I learned at from mostly from the authors of the Principia Discordia,
right,
and Robert Anton Wilson, and basically that is the philosophy that my mind is capable of accepting.
Okay.
Did you want to know what maybe logic is?
Well, so we have a call with you already on that. I kind of want to take this into a little bit of a different direction.
Let's go on then.
Okay, so where I want to go with this is, have you ever read A Modest Proposal by Jonathan Swift?
Yes.
Okay. So for people who haven't read A Modest Proposal, it was a tongue-in-cheek response to this idea that, when was it? What was it, in the 1800s, 1700s?
Jonathan Swift?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1800s, I believe.
1729. There we go. I pulled it up.
Oh, eesh.
Yeah. So what he proposed was that we start eating babies and start eating specifically, orphans that are running around the streets at the time, and that would take care of the hunger problem. That would take care of the orphan problem. Jonathan Swift didn't actually mean that. It was satire, and satire, it was used to get people to think. The Pastafarian religion and most everyone I've spoken to who calls themselves a Satanist are doing something similar. They're using tools like satire and parody to get people to think about things that are very important to them. And the way that they do that is expressed through, in the way that Satanists and Pastafarians do it. They say that is our religion, but you see that in comedy. It's one of the great tools that kind of pushes our society forward. And so when you say you're a Discordian, what I'm wondering is, are you utilizing something like parody and satire in the way that all of these others are? We're not saying it's not functional. I just want to have a better idea of whether or not this Moldred person is using this, how you're using it. Are you using this in a fundamentalist, I believe this, in a religious kind of fervor way, or are you using this in a functional, I want to get people to think, and so I'm going to relay these things in this way so that people can examine their own beliefs? Do you get what that difference is and why I'm confused?
Yes, and actually, that's one of the confusion is one of the things that Discordianism is supposed to do. If you get confused, then you try and figure your way out of it, which helps you to think. And
okay.
Yes, the satire and parody is a good way to get people to think. It's the whole thing behind the comedy of like Lenny Bruce and what's the guy? The Weatherman.
The Weatherman
did all those great things about what?
The weatherman.
They did all that great things about when is the pork chops going to arrive, and
I don't remember, but there's
Irish Catholic, former Irish Catholic comedian that died like a couple of years ago.
I don't know who that is.
I'll text you later, but he's very famous. But
okay.
Basically, stand-up comedians, one of the things that they do is do parody and satire to get people to think.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is that what you're doing?
That's what I'm doing. That's what I do on a website called Breaking News Religion.
Okay,
I can confer with people there, and I also do a few YouTube videos.
Hey.
Also, the idea is parody and satire to get people to think.
Moldred,
and I'm glad,
if you don't stop, we're going to mute you, man. Hold on.
All right, you're muted for a moment because we need to take a breath here.
And also, this is not a platform where you can plug yourself. You can ask us if you want to be, if we could plug you, but this isn't one where you get to just jump in and do that. That's not very nice, dude.
We good? We good? You're unmuted now.
Moldred, you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Okay. Yeah. No, I wasn't plugging myself any more than I was plugging the website.
Ask us.
Breaking News Religion, which is a pretty cool website to hang out on.
Moldred,
we're gonna let you go.
I have one more question.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
Okay. So I get that I get more now where you're coming from. So this was actually a very productive call in my opinion. So thank you for that. My question is, why are you calling this show? Because I can see how some of these concepts are things that other people have not thought about before, or that maybe they are theists and they need to come to terms with maybe some of the more ridiculous aspects of their beliefs, and so that might help them. But I'm curious what you think we need to think about why are you calling us? Is it to get us to think about something in particular through using satire?
Use our audience?
Like what is the goal of calling this show? Why do you want to talk to us specifically?
Because your show is called Skeptic Generation.
Mm-hmm. Do skeptics need to think more than other people, or do you think that we will agree with you on things?
Oh, no, you do not have to agree with me. As a matter of fact, one of the tenets of Discordianism is as soon as you become a Discordian pope, you have to, excommunicate all other Discordian popes. So basically, Discordianism is, sort of like what
gotcha.
was ascribed to Buddha, who on his at the time of his death supposedly
Moldred,
you're not answering the question, dude.
Yeah, we're gonna let you go.
Yeah.
Take care, man.
Bye.
Okay. You kind of got to appreciate the hustle, but at the same time, remember the format. It's not to fill space, because if you're filling space and talking at us, you're not going to stay on long. But ultimately, I disagree with the approach. Simply talking about something, and saying, well, let's talk about maybe logic, or let's talk about reality tunnel, and using that in a sentence, that's not causing people to think more. What that's doing is that's begging people to ask you. And so that you can share what you want to talk about. That's not really opening up dialogue as much as it is kind of evangelizing.
Well, I get the goal of saying a thing that makes people want to know more, right? We label our thumbnails all the time with things that aren't self-evidently understood, where people are like, ooh, what does that mean? I'm going to click and find out.
That's true.
I get that. It's just being badly done, because confusion is only useful if you're going to resolve that confusion with more information. But if the goal is to just confuse people and just use words consistently to make them feel like they have no idea what you're saying, they're not going to think. They're going to mute you and then drop you.
Yeah, and
it's not helpful.
And if you're backing that up with a bunch of nonsensical stuff, all it does is undercut, the more important topics that you're trying to relate.